Am I live? I think I'm live. I don't know. It's kind of doing something. I'll good. I'm trying this thing where I'm not going to be talking as fast because live streams are usually supposed to be slower. Also, I completely forgot. Y'all, I've been making really good progress. Really good run. No, I've been not making good progress on my book now that I think about it for a second longer, because Scrivener once again deleted my book. That's like the second time that Scrivener has deleted my book, and I don't know. I'm not happy about that, but I was already thinking about deleting it anyway. So now I'm using Microsoft Word like a pleb. But so far, it's turning out to be very intuitive, very quick, and because I have OneDrive, it's so fast. It like saves really quickly. This is not a review on Microsoft. There's like dust on them. But yeah, it's just something that I wanted to say. I've been don't tell my mom. But I've been leaving work early because I'm a real estate agent, so I've been taking my classes to renew my license, but also. Yeah, I guess fun fact time, I guess, but also to I can't see this computer screen. Again, I need to buy like a tripod. Pause on that. So this is going to be the second episode of TLOS, which is the Literary Odyssey Society. Oh my god, is she working? Sorry, it's because one of my coworkers just sent a message. She's been MIA for the last couple of months. If my hair looks greasy, ignore it. It's just grease. What the fuck was that? Was that the AC turning on? That was loud. I'm trying this new thing on my hair because every time it like poofs up, and it still kind of did that, but I bought this like oil. I wish I had brought it, but I'm not reviewing the little oil. It's from OGX. It's argan oil, like the penetrating one. It smells nice, but I went overboard last night. It was my first time using it. I went overboard and I put decidedly way too much. And my mom was like, "Your hair looks greasy," and I was like, "Nobody asked you." No, I didn't say that. No, I actually did ask her though. But I was like, it feels nice. It feels very soft. It does not feel greasy. But my mom says that it looks greasy. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like the shiny look though. Because otherwise my hair looks like dry and brittle and dead, even though it's not. My hair is shockingly healthy. Um, so today we will be talking about a book that I finished a while ago. Um, I was actually not going to review this book until next week, next Friday, because I had already done the review for Shadow of the Wind, which, by the way, that review was a goddamn disaster. I haven't even looked back on it. It was just rushed, and it was just like not a good review. It was just a very thick book. It had a lot of like things going for it. So yeah, it was just like all over the place. This one's going to be a little bit easier just because we'll be reviewing The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. This book is definitely a lot more simple. And I want to preface this real quick. Sometimes I'm going to get mean about books. That is not a personal attack on the author. I am currently writing a novel. It is the most difficult thing that I've had to do in terms of anything. It's so hard. It's not easy. And the fact that she got this published, good on you, Miss Dave. I wish you nothing but continued success. But I am gonna tear this apart. I'm not gonna really tear this apart. It was a very okay book, and I will get into more details about it. I will first give like what the book is about, my thoughts on it, kind of like a little bit of backstory, and then we'll just kind of go from there. Um, so again, I only have a subscriber, and they haven't seen any of my videos, but that's fine. I've seen my videos, and that's all that matters. I'm fucking entertaining. Okay, so the last thing he told me, I'm going to read the excerpt from Goodreads. It says, before Owen Michaels disappears, he smuggles a note into his beloved wife of 1 year. Protect her. Despite her confusion and fear, Hannah Hall knows to whom the note refers. Owen's 16-year-old daughter, Bailey, who lost her mother tragically as a child and wants nothing to do with her new stepmother. As Hannah's increasingly desperate calls to Owen go... What is going on? Is that just me? Sorry. As Hannah's increasingly desperate calls to Owen go unanswered, as the FBI arrests Owen's boss, as a U.S. Marshal go unanswered, as the FBI arrests Owen's boss, as a U.S. Marshal and federal agents arrive at her Sausalito home unannounced, Hannah quickly realizes her husband isn't who he said he was. Bailey just may hold the key to figuring out Owen's true identity and why he really disappeared. If that sounds exciting, oh boy, it's not. It has a 3.83 out of 997,000 ratings. So I bought this book on a skiing trip with my friends. And it was supposed to be like a weekend getaway. We were supposed to relax. Of course we didn't. And of course I couldn't. So I didn't really get a chance to read this book. I did start reading it, and then I got bored. So I was like, right now I'm doing this thing where I'm going to finish all the books that I have not read on my bookshelves. I'm going to read all of the unread ones, and then I'll start buying new ones and start adding again. So this was one that I had bought. I bought it at Walmart for like $15. So there's that. Oh my God, I need to cut my nails. I'm like picking the book up and I'm like touching it with like my nails, and I hate it. And they're not even like that long. That to me is atrociously long. So I'm gonna trim them. I should have done that before. This is gonna be bothering me because I'm like, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It's more of a 2.5. So you might be thinking this is actually winner for best mystery and thriller. It's neither one of those. It's more of a drama, really, more than anything. So already, bad choice there. It is a Goodreads Choice Awards for 2021. Winner for best mystery and thriller. That actually makes me laugh because there's nothing mysterious about this. Mystery implies that the clues have been laid in, and eventually you'll be able to pick up like anybody could be able to read a mystery novel and then come to the conclusion, but a good mystery novel will give you all the information you need and then still give you a plot twist, and you're like, oh, I can't believe I didn't see that coming. This one is really more of like she just finds out about her husband's past. Like there's like a few chapters where she kind of goes back in time and then like goes forward and back and forward. And originally I had assumed incorrectly that these were going to have clues to what exactly was going on. And they didn't. They didn't really have any clues. They were just there. But I will say this, those flashback chapters were very lovely. They were very, very short. And I will say this, Laura Dave, I might not be the biggest fan of this book, but those very small chapters where it's like a flashback, it was always the main character, Hannah, and her husband, Owen, how they met, how they fell in love, and this and that. And honestly, that was my favorite part. I fucking loved reading about them two together. It was just such a lovely relationship that they had, and it was a legitimately very well written chemistry, which is probably why I'm not rating it lower. Those flashback chapters really did help it quite a bit overall. It was the flashback chapters, they were good. They were good. That's all I have to say. They didn't really add a lot to the plot or the story, but they did to the characters, and that's always appreciated. The characters include Hannah, who's just kind of a pushover. Like she was kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and I'll get into it. I'll get into why I thought she was annoying. Bailey was very annoying. I could not stand that character. She was just very annoying. Um, I had made a list of all the characters, but then when I finished the book, I had realized that list didn't matter because the characters only appeared once. They only appeared once. They were never mentioned again, besides maybe like one or two. And then afterwards, it's like they had no relevance to the plot. So we're not. That's literally the only two characters. That and the husband. So three characters, and the husband doesn't show up for the whole book. Well, well, again, I'll talk about that in spoiler-free territory. Um, it was just very straightforward. There really was no mystery. Like, I mean, you are hooked. Don't get me wrong. Like, I was hooked like about a third of the way, and that's when I started really getting into it. Um, hello. Um, so I really started getting into it around a quarter, maybe, or maybe a third of the way. And I was like, you know what? This might actually be a really good mystery. And then I finished the book and I was like, no, it wasn't. It was just a very straightforward, like, it was just a straightforward story. There was no, like, big plot twist reveal at the end. And if you've read this book and you're like, what are you talking about? Yes, of course there was a huge plot twist reveal at the end. Was there? I mean, was there? I think I might have missed it. So let's go through it together. Um, Again, this is just my opinion, but yeah, I don't think that was a very good mystery. It could have been really good if there was more drama in it. It could have been really good, but I will get into personal beef that I had with the story itself. So, um, I might start saying spoilers from this point forward. If you don't want this book to get spoiled, go read it. I mean, this is a whole discussion thing going on as well. So yeah, that's my review. It was just a very. It's not a mystery. Yeah, don't go into this book thinking it's a mystery. Um, okay, so let's go ahead and go through what happens in the book from memory. Um, so Hannah receives the note from the 12-year-old. She then picks up Bailey, I think, and then she drops her off again at school because she does some like extracurriculum shit. Bailey comes back with a sack full of money. By that point, her dad's been missing for a while, and Hannah's just kind of there, like, Owen, my Owen, he wouldn't do this. I know my Owen, and it's like, okay, we got it. Can we get this going? And then you would flip the page, and then again, Hannah would just be like, "That's weird. I know Owen. He wouldn't do something like that, would he?" And then you're like, copy and paste from the previous page. Got to respect that. All right, moving on. And then so you flip the page, and then it's like, Owen, he couldn't have done this, could he? I mean, I know him. He's not capable. And it's like, we get it. We get. Sorry, we get it. Owen's not capable. We get it. We get it. We got it. It was written once. Please. That was one of the things that infuriated me while reading this book. I felt like I was being talked down to. It really felt, and I'm stupid as hell. Like, dumb it down for me. But at the same time, it's like, don't write a mystery and then have to like repeat yourself. Like, this is out of character for Owen. Hey, this isn't like Owen. It's like, yeah, well, no, we heard you the first time. I'm treating this as a mystery novel, which means my eyes and ears are open for anything and everything. We get it. And so basically, they couldn't sleep. There's a whole lot of not sleeping in this book. Bailey goes to school the next day. Hannah goes to her workshop. No, first she goes to her husband's like best friend who's a lawyer, and to his wife's house. She makes a note that he's cheating on her for some reason. She wants to talk with the friend whose name is Carl, I think. And then the wife is really pissed. So the reason Owen went missing is the company that he was one of the co-founders for, they were like doing some scammy shit. The owner, he got arrested, and Owen was nowhere to be found. Um, and then the wife of the, I'm gonna lean back and relax a little bit here. The wife of the man of the best friend, she was just being a real bitch about everything. And I was like, your husband's cheating on you. How about you shut up? And like the husband wouldn't say anything, like to defend Hannah. And I was like, Hannah, do you grow a fucking backbone, bitch? Which eventually she kind of does towards the end. That part was very annoying because it was very unnecessary, I think. For me, it's like if you can cut that out and the story does not get affected, it was not needed. So for me, it really didn't do anything other than to kind of build more on the mystery, which I guess does kind of do a little bit more, but I don't know. Um, I'm not a professional reviewer here. Third, she goes to her shed. Sorry. She goes to her she shed, and there she's like mulling things over. Like, she starts looking through his personal laptop, and she finds pictures of Olivia, who's Bailey's mom, or like her biological mom. And again, nothing gets found. Or I think she might have found something, but I can't really remember. Again, it was kind of a forgettable book. I'm sorry. And then what else happened? I'm going to talk about good things as well. Like I said, those flashback chapters were really good. I don't know, but anyway, she eventually finds out that she needs to go to Austin. She gets interrupted by these FBI agents. Where Laura, you had such a good scene, and that's what I wanted to talk about. If I could summarize the problems with this book, besides the story itself, it would be that Laura just does not trust her audience. So if we go to that part, we can talk about this more later, but you should probably get, are you serious? Hi, glad you could keep my voice down, Patty. Okay, so this is where he goes to the best friend's house. Okay, this part. So she's outside her she shed, her little workshop thing, where she like carves wood. And then these two FBI agents come in. One of them is Naomi, and the other one is Omaki. Naomi, I thought Naomi was gonna be like the main antagonist, like something was gonna happen because she seemed like a smart character. That's the way that Laura was kind of painting her at. And this is the quintessential of what was wrong with the writing, personally, what I found. So basically, the FBI are interrogating her. They're interrogating her outside of her she shed. She's like, I literally don't know anything. He just disappeared on me as he did for you guys. I don't know what's going on with the company. I don't know anything. Leave me alone. And the FBI, they make this little ditty. Um, so I'm just gonna read this word by word. Where is Belle now? At her St. Helena. Belle is the wife of the husband. What? Belle is the wife of the other co-founder of the company. So she was caught trying to leave. Whatever. With a passport in holder's possession, she's maintaining her position that she's shocked to think her husband would be guilty of this wrongdoing. But in our experience, the wife usually knows. Not this wife, I say. Naomi chimes in almost as if I haven't answered them. As long as you're sure, she says. Someone has to think of Owen's daughter. I am. So I like that. It's quick. It's very like, it's to the point. So this is where the writing got really really good, and then it got really really stupid. um, Not this wife, and she says, as long as you're sure, she says, someone has to think of Owen's daughter. I am. Good, she says. Good. So already the tension is like very tense. The FBI is threatening her. It's a very obvious threat that, it's like, listen, talk to us or we're taking Bailey away. And so, Hannah's like, no, don't do that because I'll be sad. Obviously, that's not how that went down. She says, I am. Good. She says, good. So this is really good subtext in it. And then Laura writes a whole paragraph saying, it sounds like a threat, and I hear what she's pretending not to say. I hear her insinuation that they could take Bailey away. Didn't I have Grady's assurance that they wouldn't? And I'm just like, Laura! Laura! You had a really good thing going on there. The tension was rising. We know it was a threat. We know it's a threat because we're using our brains. We know that the FBI is looking there to find anything that might incriminate Owen. So we know that anything that Hannah says can and will be used against her. So we understand. We understand the characters. We understand their positions in the situation and the context of their words. We don't need you to write a whole paragraph explaining just that. And so for me, it was a lot of hello. For me, it was a lot of telling, not showing, which sometimes is fine. But like in this case, it's like you had such a good thing going. The dialogue was quick. It was going fast. There was a lot of subtext going on there. Hannah, we didn't get a lot of her inner dialogue, which is fine because at that point things were going really quickly. She doesn't have time to think. She's just kind of like relying on her wits. Um, she's kind of like going back and forth. It sounds like and she says someone has to think of Owen's daughter. It's like obviously that's a threat. We know what they're doing. Obviously it's a threat. And then she goes into it sounds like a threat, why it sounds like a threat, what could possibly happen as a result of that threat. And I'm just like, we know. We were there. We are there. We've been there. We've done that. So that really irritated me. I remember putting the book down and I was just like, Miss Dave, why would you do this? So it's a lot of moments like that where it's like really good writing and then it's just like, why are you explaining yourself? Don't explain yourself. Just fucking go with it. And that's something that I've been learning a lot while writing my own book. So just fucking keep going with it. Don't stop. If you needed a pause, which I understand, you might have needed a pause after that. Like, good, she says, good. Okay, you could have filled that out with like suddenly, you could have just filled that out with like um, a cloud covered the sun, or um, I rubbed my hands together to get rid of, or my arms together to get rid of the goosebumps. Something that shows Hannah. It's showing Hannah reacting to this threat, this very obvious threat, and maybe the mood shifts in a way or whatever. We will need to talk to Bailey as well, Mackie says. You could have just put Mackie says changing the subject. Or something like that. It was just, to me, it was kind of a missed opportunity. But then it goes right back into being really good dialogue. Um, and she doesn't do that again for this particular. So again, I will give her like credit. I don't know why I did that. I will give her credit. Uh, After that, I was just kind of annoyed reading the rest. And then it got really, really good when Hannah, who had gotten the visitor from Grady, Grady was a U.S. Marshal. He visited her earlier that morning, and she brings him up. She was like, and I was already told the U.S. Marshal this morning, I don't have many answers for you. Whoa, 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 what? O'Mackey says. I look at him and then no longer smiling Naomi. The U.S. Marshal who came by to see me this morning, I say. We went through this already. They look at each other. What was his name, O'Mackey says. The U.S. Marshal's name? Yeah, like, I love that shit. That's showing that Hannah's like, it's showing that she's thinking. It's showing that they were not informed that U.S. Marshal was going to talk to Hannah. It's showing. It's not telling. So there, where Hannah's like the U.S. Marshal's name. I love that. I thought that was so good. I thought that was very well written. She was like, it kind of feels like Hannah's like ooh, that guy. Like she's kind of playing dumb now, and it's good. It's good. Like I like that. Yes. What was the U.S. Marshal's name? Naomi looks at me with her mouth pinched, like the playing field has changed in a way she wasn't ready for. We kind of get into the telling, not showing part here. This is why I decide not to tell the truth. We know you're not telling the truth. We get it. We know because we were there. We were there that morning with Grady. We know that you're not telling the truth. You don't need to tell us. You don't need to tell yourself. You don't need to tell the agents. And Hannah doesn't need to tell herself. We know. I don't remember. That's all you had to say. You could take out that line. It's not as bad as the one previously where it's a whole paragraph. At least it's just one line. This is why I decided not to tell the truth. You could have just continued the conversation. I don't remember. Or you could have had, instead of having Naomi looks at me with her mouth pinched like a playing field has changed in a way she wasn't ready for. You could have said something like, Naomi looks at me with her mouth pinched. I guess nobody had told them about Grady. And then from there put, I don't remember. That would have been better, I think. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. So just been like, I don't remember. You don't remember his name? I don't say anything else. I would have liked if she had continued playing the dumb card from there on out. And then she does a whole like 180 on them, and it's actually really, really good. Do you remember if this U.S. Marshal showed you a badge? He did. Do you know what a United States Marshal badge looks like? Naomi says, am I supposed to? I say. I also don't know what an FBI badge looks like now that you're mentioning things. I don't know. I probably should confirm that you are who you say you are. Then we can continue this conversation. We're just a little confused because this case isn't in the jurisdiction of the U.S. Marshal's office, so we need to ascertain who exactly was speaking with you this morning. They shouldn't have been here without our approval. Did they threaten Owen in some way? Because you know that if Owen's involvement is minimal, he may be able to help himself by testifying against Abbott. That's true. O'Mackey says, he isn't even a suspect yet. Yet, I say. He didn't mean yet, Naomi says. I didn't mean yet, Mackey says. I meant that there is no reason for you to be talking to a U.S. Marshal. Funny thing is, Agent O'Mackey, he said the same thing about you guys. Did he? Naomi pulls herself together, smiles. Let's just start over, okay? We're all on the same team here, but in the future, you might want your lawyer present before you talk to anyone who shows up at your door. That's a great idea, Naomi. I'm going to start with that right now. Then I point to the gate and wait for them to walk through it. That was amazing. That was such a good writing. I love that part. And then it just goes mad from there on. Sorry, it was just I have to praise it. Like I have to praise it and call it out for its weaknesses. It has a lot of moments where I'm like, you could have deleted that line or replaced that line with something that's showing us that Hannah's uncomfortable. You gotta tell us. We know. Show her be uncomfortable. Because if you're like, think of it this way. If you're watching a movie, sorry, I'm eating. I'm hungry. No, I'm not hungry. I am hungry. I ate pancakes this morning. What time was that? That was 2 hours ago? No wonder I'm hungry. Anyway, so picture this. In the book, you can say Hannah was nervous at this. They were threatening her now. Now picture that in a movie. Hannah's not reacting in the book, so is she just going to be like there? Not showing any emotion in the movie? In a scene? Is that what's going on? Hannah eventually finds out they need to go to Austin, and this is a whole other gripe that I have. She eventually finds out that she needs to go to Austin. Let's not even talk about Austin. That's where things just kind of take a nosedive. Nothing really happens. Bailey becomes psychic and starts going into her past, regressing into memories. And then they go to a bar that they recognize. They finally have somebody with firsthand experience with Owen's secret past. And what does Hannah do? She runs out the door. She runs out the door. Bailey runs away. That's stupid. I hate Bailey. She's just so stupid. I fucking hate her. Like, there was some points where I did feel bad for her, but it was a whole lot of Hannah telling us to feel bad for her. Why? Why should I feel bad for her? Maybe if you had that rude bitch, like, telling Hannah to go away, and then hearing her cry through a door or something, like, maybe then I'll be like, oh man, I feel bad, kind of bad. Or maybe if they show her getting bullied at school, like, I heard your dad's a thief, or something like that. They go to Austin and they find out that this is where it gets kind of stupid. Owen's real name is not Owen. That's the plot twist, by the way. The reason he changed his name and his daughter's name was because he ratted out his father-in-law, who is a dangerous. He's not a dangerous man, but he's a lawyer that works for dangerous people, and he basically exposed the whole organization. And yeah, the reason he was hiding and he changed his name and hers is because of that. Why did he betray his father-in-law and this secret criminal organization? Because his wife was murdered. She was killed. The thing is, she was also the assistant or the secretary of the opposing political party to like the criminal organization. So if she was murdered, it had nothing to do with her father. But for some reason, Owen, his real name I forgot. But it's like you think all of this could have been avoided if you had just told your wife, maybe instead of just writing protect her. Maybe you could have just told her, hey, go to Austin, look for this man, try and make peace with him, just so that Bailey is no longer in any danger. I'm no longer going to be able to see you guys anymore, just because I know that they're going to keep looking for me. There's no more hope for me to be pardoned by them. But Bailey didn't do anything wrong. That was the essential. Somehow, his dumb wife, Hannah, was supposed to have gotten all of that from protect her. How's Hannah? How's anybody, for that matter, supposed to pick that up? You couldn't have put that on the fucking note that you gave to the little girl. As a matter of fact, Owen, you could have given her the note yourself and be like, or leave it at home. Like, you disappeared without nobody. Like, the police weren't even looking for you at that point. And I just get annoyed at this fucking book, and I'm just like, why didn't he tell her the truth when they started dating? He probably thought there was nothing was ever going to happen, and his secret was never going to get exposed. He probably thought a million other things. He just didn't think about a good way of protecting himself. I don't know. And then his daughter was just annoying. Bailey was just fucking annoying. She was insufferable. She was just mean for no reason. And if you're like, well, she was actually mean because Hannah was taking up the position of her mom. And it's like, Bailey doesn't even remember her own mom. So, bullshit. And if you make the argument of like, well, actually, she's mad because she's intruding on both between the father and his daughter. And it's like also bullshit because numerous times has Hannah stepped back and been like, you know what, it's you two. Like I respect that. And she's still acting like a total bitch. She's just acting like a fucking cow whore. And I hate Bailey. I fucking hated her. The ending was nice though, where she calls her mom. I like that. See, this would be a lot easier if there was people watching. Whatever. But yeah, I would just kind of give my thoughts on that. Next week is The Final Descent by Rick Yancey, which is the last book in the Monstromology series. Loved it. Spoiler alert, by the way, loved it. I'm currently reading, so if you guys want to like keep up, good luck because I'm a slow reader and this is probably going to take me a while. I finally caved in. I'm reading The Eye of the World, which is the first book in the Wheel of Time series. I've had this book on my shelf for so long, but if you go back to my other videos and you find my Goodreads account on one of those, you'll see that I have my Goodreads account linked. And if you go to my Goodreads account and you go through all the books that I've read, you will find that none of the books that I read are like high fantasy or like really like strong, hard sci-fi shit. I always go for like the very pale ones, not pale, like the very lukewarm ones, because these are always very intimidating. They have character. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. They have characters with apostrophes and they have a whole thing going on. So there's a glossary in the back that I did go through before starting this book. So I kind of already knew what the world was about. But I gotta say, Robert Jordan's very good at implementing the world building into his story. So far, I'm loving the fuck out of this book. I gotta say. So I was hoping to read all of the Wheel of Time, but again, that would require me to buy all of the books, and I'm trying to read all of the books on my shelf before I buy more. So I'm going to read this one. I also have the second book, which I believe is called The Great Hunt. So I'm going to read this one. I'm going to read The Great Hunt, and then I'll go to another series that I haven't finished, and then I'll go to another series that I haven't finished, and then I'll go to another series that I haven't finished, and then I'll go to another series that I haven't even started. Then I'll go to another series. I have a bunch of books that I haven't read, so we'll see. But hopefully in 2 weeks I'll finish this book because it is kind of a thick bitch. I am reading it kind of fast though, so I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. What's up? Anyway, you guys have a great weekend. That's the end of this discussion. Enjoy your weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, huh? Don't have sex. Anyway, have a wonderful. I couldn't find the fucking end stream button. It's right there. Have a good day, guys. Bye. Yes, and